Hi everyone, my name's Alysha and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've got a super exciting tutorial for you guys because we are making Sydney Sweeney's bikini that she just posted on Instagram. Super exciting, super cute. This one is pretty simple and it works up really quickly. It only took me about a day to do. So I'll outline everything that you need and we can just get right into it. Okay, so we are going to start with the bottoms. So we are going to start with a slip knot, and then we're going to make a chain that is long enough to wrap around the widest part of your hips. So for me, that's around 110. So I'm going to chain 110. Alright, so now that you have a chain that's long enough to wrap around the widest part of your hips, we are going to double crochet down the entire row. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull one through, pull through two, and pull through two. And next stitch, so pull through one, or yarn over first, then pull through one, pull through two, pull through two. Again, yarn over, pull through one, pull through two, pull through two. And we are going to keep doing this all the way down the chain until you get to the end, and I will meet you there. Alright, so now that we have our first row of double crochet, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, oops, and 3, and flip our work so that we can go back down for our second row. And now we are just going to do another row of double crochet. So I just inserted my hook into that first loop and double crochet. Nice and simple, so we are just going to continue doing rows of double crochet until you have 5 rows. This will be kind of like the waistband of the bathing suit. So I'm going to continue doing my rows of double crochet, so yarn over, insert, pull one through, pull through two, pull through two, all the way until you get to the end, chain 3, flip your work, and then do another row until you have 5 total. Alright, so I have my long thing of double crochet, and I'm just going to line up the 2 edges. So I've folded it in half, and we're lining up the 2 edges now. And at the end here, I'm just going to chain 1, and so with these 2 edges lined up, I'm just going to insert my hook in actually both pieces and make a single crochet. So we're sewing up the side, and just keep putting single crochets both in the front piece and the back piece. See how there's 2? Yep. And make sure that this isn't twisted. You don't want a twist in it. Just nice and flat, nice and easy. Single crochets all the way down. Until you get to the end, and then just chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. Great. Now we're going to work on the bikini bottom part. So I've just pulled up a bikini from a former project. If you guys want the tutorial for this checkerboard one, it's on my channel. So this is what we're going to be doing, basically. So let's work it out. So we are going to do a row of just regular half double crochets, no more double crochets anymore. So a row of regular half double crochets, and the length of your chain is dependent on, or like the length that we start at is depending on how much coverage you want in the front. So for me, I like 28 chains, and I feel like that works for me. Then on every other row following, you're going to decrease 1 from each side. So we're going to have a regular row, then decrease 1 from here, decrease 1 from here. Then a regular row, then decrease 1 from here, decrease 1 from here. Regular row, decrease, decrease, regular row, decrease, decrease, regular row, decrease, decrease, until we get to the gusset part, And again, you can make this as wide or as skinny as you want. Do a couple rows of just regular half double crochet. And then we are going to come back up the back doing the reverse of what we did at the front. So regular row of half double crochet, then increase, increase, regular row, increase, increase, regular row, increase, increase, regular row, increase, increase, and so on and so forth until you have a matching front and back panel. And we are actually going to be working this right directly on this band part so that it's nice and easy. And then once we get to so we're going to start by attaching on a piece of yarn just so that it's together, and then we're going to finish by attaching it onto the back side. So let's get to it. So I want you to fold your band so that the seam that you made is in the center back, and make sure that the seam is facing outwards. Okay, just trying to get it as centered as possible. Figure out that center, and then find the center point for how large you want to make it. So for me that's 14, so I need 14 going that way, 14 going that way. Count it out, and then we are just going to make a slip knot, put it on the hook, and insert your hook. Now we are going to make a slip stitch, chain 2. In that same hole, we are going to make a half double crochet. So slower and closer. You yarn over, insert into the stitch, pull one through, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Insert, pull one through, pull through all 3. So I have made 3 stitches, and I need to make 28. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Alright, so since this is a half double crochet, we are going to chain 2 at the end, flip your work, and now if you'd like to, just to make it easier for yourself, you can add a clip on the side so you know on which rows you're going to be decreasing. So we just did one regular row, so now we are going to do a decrease at the start and a decrease at the end. So I'm starting by yarning over, inserting my hook, pull one through, yarn over again, go into the next stitch, insert your hook, pull one through, and pull through all 5. Then just regular half double crochets as you go down the row. And just keep it regular until you only have 2 stitches left. Alright, so I only have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to yarn over, insert, pull one through, yarn over, insert, pull one through, and pull through 5. Chain 2, flip, and now since the clip is not on this side, we are just going to do a regular row of half double crochets and repeat this pattern. So regular row, and then decrease 1 on each side, regular row, decrease 1 on each side. I decrease until there's around 8 to 10 stitches left, but it depends on what you need to cover or what you don't want to cover. Really up to you, but I'm just going to continue that pattern of a regular row and then decrease on both sides, regular row, decrease on both sides. Alright, so I've made all the decreases that I needed to do, and now we're going to make the gusset part. So now we're just going to do the gusset piece, and so for this we're going to need around 8 rows. You can do more or less if you've got like a bigger space that you want to cover. Up to you. I only have 8 stitches left from here to here, so just for reference. So now I'm just going to do 8 rows of regular half double crochet. No increases or decreases, just nice and basic. And so I'm going to do those rows, and then once I have a long enough gusset, I will come and meet you back. Alright, so I did my 8 rows of regular half double crochet with no increases or decreases, and I just moved my clip over just so I remember what side to do my increases on. So now we're going to start with our increasing. So we're going to increase 1 on each side on every other row until we have a piece that matches the front side. So just working up like that. So to do our increase, what we're going to do is yarn over, insert our hook into the first stitch, pull through 1, pull through all 3, and then yarn over again, and in that very same hole we are going to insert, pull through 1, pull through 3, and then just regular down the row. And now in the last stitch we are going to increase again. So insert, pull through 1, pull through all 3, yarn over again, insert, pull through 1, pull through all 3. So that was 2 in the very same hole. Now we're going to chain 2, and since the clip isn't on this side, it's on the other side, we're just going to do a regular row of half double crochet, making sure to go into every single stitch so that we don't undo the work that we just did. And now chain 2, flip your work, and we are back to the side with the clip on it, so we are going to do an increase again. So yarn over, insert into the first stitch, pull through 1, pull through 3, yarn over again into the very same hole, pull through 1, pull through 3, regular half double crochets. And in the very last stitch, and increase, so 2 in that last hole, chain 2, oops, flip your work, and then a regular row of half double crochet, and just keep repeating that until you get back up to the original set of stitches that you had when you started. So for me, I need 28 stitches across the top, and then we'll be done. And then I'll show you how to attach it to the back. But yeah, so just keep increasing on every other row, and I will meet you there. Okie dokie, so we've got the front part done and the back part. So now we are going to fold this over, make sure that this is lined up perfectly centered as best as you can. And then we are going to fold this up. Make 1 chain at the end of your row, and I'm just flipping it upside down just like that. And now we are going to kiss the waistband and the back piece together just like that, and we are going to single crochet in the front piece and the back piece together all the way down the row until it is perfectly attached. Try to get it into every stitch. Try not to stretch the front piece or the back piece, just keep them nicely aligned. Alright, so now that we're at the end, we're just going to chain one, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. And now we can flip it right side out. And our bikini bottoms are done. Alright, and now let's move on to the top. Okay, so for the top you're going to start with a slip knot and make a chain that can wrap around the widest part of your chest. So for me that like crosses right through the nipple all the way around, and that comes out to be around like 105 chains. So I'm going to chain that. And just for the sake of time, I'm only going to do a few chains. And then, but actually do like 100 and whatever chains that you need. And then we are just going to do rows and rows of double crochet. So yarn over, insert, pull through one, pull through two, pull through two. Yarn over, insert, pull through one, pull through two. Oh. So yarn over, pull through one, pull through two, pull through two, yarn over, pull through one, pull through two, pull through two. All the way down, and at the end of the row you're going to chain three, flip your work, and keep doing rows and rows of double crochets until you have a piece that's long enough, that is like tall enough to cover your entire breast. So for me, I think that's like 8 rows. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I actually did 9 rows. This is what the piece looks like. And just like we did for the bottom, at the end we are just going to chain one, fold up our band so that the ends are touching, like so. And we are going to sew it together by kissing these two seams together and putting in a single crochet, all the way down until you get to the end. And then when you get to the end, just chain one, pull up a little bit, and tie off. And now we are going to work on the little sleeves. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, this is where it starts to get a little bit difficult. So take it slow and scroll back if you need to. So now I want you to try on, you should just have the tube. I already did one sleeve so that I could like figure it out. But yeah, try on your little tube across your breasts and make sure everything fits. And then I want you to mark with a stitch marker, or like me, the closest thing that I had on hand was a random zipper. So now that I have a stitch marker, I'm going to switch out the zipper that I just tied on here for a proper stitch marker. Anywho. And so mark it on both sides, make sure that it's even. And once you have it laid down flat, this is where you're going to attach the beginning of the strap, and then on the front there is where you're going to attach the end. So you could add 2 stitch markers if you want. So I am just making a slip knot, putting it on my hook, and right where you attach your stitch marker into that stitch, make a slip stitch. And now you are going to chain 55. Okay, so I made my chain of 55. And now find out directly on the other side, so where you folded it over, where you're going to insert your stitch. Find that stitch, insert, and attach it with a slip stitch. Great. And so now you should have this spaghetti strap. So now on the spaghetti strap, in every single loop, you are going to put a double crochet. So just like that. And so I'm just going to keep on doing this until I get all the way back to the other side, and I will meet you there. Okay, so I did the first row, and now we are going to attach this back onto the rest of the top. So you want to make sure that you're attaching it towards the end of your shirt rather than going into the center part. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to turn it towards me, and then I'm going to make 3 slip stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. So that will be used in place of chaining 3 at the end of the row. So now we can flip our work and then go back up the strap with another row of double crochets. So nice and simple, and see how that's nicely attached there? That's why we don't need to chain 3 at the end. So yeah, just keep doing these double crochets until you get to the other side, because in the third row we are going to have some variations going on. So pay attention. Alright, so I'm back to the bottom of the strap, and what we're going to do again is make 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, and 3, and that's in place of our chain 3. So now we can flip our work over, and now we are going into row 3. So for row 3, I want you to do 20 double crochets. So 1, Alright, so now that we have the 20, now for the next 10 stitches, you are going to be increasing in every single stitch. So 2 double crochets per hole for the next 10 stitches. So that's 1, and another in the same hole, 2, and another in the same hole, 3, another, 4, and another, 5, another, 6, another, 7, another, 8, another, 9, another, and 10, another. And now just for the rest of the strap, you're just going to put regular double crochets all the way down. And again, I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I got back to the end of the row, and now again we are going to do 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Flip our work, and this is the last row for a while that's tricky, so yay. We are going to do 22 regular stitches, so let's do that. And these are double crochets, of course. Alright, and so now for the next 20 stitches, you are going to be increasing in every single stitch. So, 1, and another in the same hole, 2, and another in the same hole, 3, and another in the same hole, and so on until you get to 20. And then just regular double crochet down the rest, kind of like what we did before. So continue on doing that, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so now again we're at the end of the row, and we need to do 3 slip stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Flip your work, and now we are just going to keep doing rows and rows of double crochet. And so you know how we add a slip stitch or 3 slip stitches each time, so eventually it's going to come to a close here at the bottom. So keep doing rows of double crochet until you reach that point, and then I will come back and tell you what to do. But in total we're going to have 13-ish rows, maybe more, depending on how long you want your sleeve to be, but I did 13 rows total. But just keep going until your slip stitches eventually come together to meet each other, if that makes sense. So this is the sleeve, right? So eventually it's going to keep creeping and creeping closer together. If you can do the math, or want to do the math, that will tell you how many rows it'll be, but I don't want to do the math. So just keep doing just regular rows of double crochet, and then I will meet you there. Alright, so I've gotten to the point in my sleeve where I can no longer slip into the side. So now at the end of this row, where there's no more stitches to slip into, by slip I mean slip stitch, we are just going to chain 3, just like we would with a regular row of double crochet, and then continue our double crochets just like normal. And you are going to continue just doing it like this until you have the sleeve length that you want. This is the unfinished one. This is the finished one, nice big and bulbous, and then I'll show you how to cinch it in at the end once you have it to the length that you want. So for me it's 13 regular rows past our increase rows, so starting from row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 13 all the way to the end here, and then we'll have 2 rows to finish it off. And now, since we're not slip stitching into the bottom here anymore, we will have to sew up the sleeve so that it isn't just like open and gaping. And I will show you how to do that after, once we get there. So just finish your sleeve length, and then we'll start cinching it in. Okay, so I've done my 13 regular rows, and now we are going to do a row of decreasing in every single stitch. So chain 3, we're going to do this for one whole row. So to decrease, we are going to insert into the first stitch, pull through 1, yarn over again, insert into the next stitch, pull through 1, then pull through 4, pull through 2. Okay, now that's our first decrease. So the second decrease, we go insert into 1, pull through 1, yarn over, insert into 2, pull through 1, pull through 4, pull through 2. Alright, next decrease, yarn over and insert into 1, pull through 1, yarn over, insert into 2, pull through 1, pull through 4, pull through 2. Yarn over again, insert into 1, pull through 1, yarn over again, insert into 2, pull through 1, pull through 4, pull through 2. And we are going to keep doing this for the entire row. And then I will meet you at the end of the row once I've done all of my decreases. Okie dokie, so I made my decreases all the way around. And now for our final row, chain 3 once again, and we are just doing a regular row of double crochet all the way around, and this is our very last row of the sleeve. So I'm just going to do this, and I will meet you at the end of the row just to show you how to finish off the base of your top, and then we'll work on the embellishments. Okie dokie. I'll see you at the end of the row. Okay, so now we've finished our final row, and the last thing that we need to do is just sew up this open seam here. So at the end of the row, we are just going to chain 1, line up our edges just like that, and we are going to make a single crochet all the way down, similar to how we sewed up the tube for the bikini bottom or the back of this shirt. So making sure that we're going in both the front and the back and just making single crochets all the way down. Nice and simple. Okay, and now we've gotten to the bottom, so last thing that we've got to do is chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. Great, now we're done the base of the top, let's work on the embellishments. Okay, so now we're making the embellishments. There's a whole bunch of these and they work up pretty quickly. So it looks like this. It's a little flower, and then we're going to put like a little rhinestone or something in the middle. So we are going to start with a slip knot, and I'm using a slightly different shade of green because that's close to what the original bikini was like. I'm making a slip knot. And chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now every single stitch that we're going to do for this entire embellishment is actually going to be in that first chain right there. Okay? Not the first chain from the hook, the first chain like overall. So we're going to make 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to make a slip stitch. Okay. Chain 2, 2 double crochets in that same hole. So 1 and 2. chain 2, and slip stitch. And I'm just pulling tight on that extra tail so it doesn't get too loose. Chain 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 2, slip stitch, and chain 2, 2 double crochets, alright, chain 2, slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. So there is our little flower. Pull it tighter by pulling on that our tail from the beginning. And there we are. So we're just going to make a whole bunch of these until we have enough for the top, and on the bottom I'll put a picture here if you want to see how many Sydney Sweeney has. So I'm just going to continue making these. Alright, so now it's time to add our little flowers. So just to finish these off, you should have your piece of thread that you started with and your tail that you ended with. And so just to secure it, I'm just going to tie them in a knot twice. Da, da, da. And then cut off the little tails. So I have this cute little flower. Now you can take a needle and thread. If you have a darning needle, so like a thick yarn needle, you can also use that as well. But I just find that my hand sewing is a little messy, so it's better if I can hide it. So I just took some green thread that matches the flower, threaded my needle, and you need about a piece of thread that's about the length of like your forearm. And then with the thread, you just tie a knot, just like that, and tie a second one right on top of it. I use kind of like my nail to guide it. And then a third if you didn't get it right on top. You just want to make like a nice bulky knot so it doesn't pull through the fabric. Anyhow, kind of hard to see. But yeah. So place your flower where you want it to go. And then come in from the back. You got your needle there. And we are just going to go back and forth, sewing it on. Just going around the flower. It doesn't need to be perfect, but try your best. And I'm trying to get stitches in every single petal. And feels pretty secure, so make sure that your thread is at the back. And now we are just going to tie a knot. And another knot right on top of it. And maybe just a few more for good measure. Okay, there we are, and then you can snip off. And ta-da! That's what it looks like. gorgeous. And now, so you need 2 on the bottoms. And then I believe that it's 8 across the top, but really just kind of like figure out how many you actually need. I think that I'll need less. Maybe 5, like that. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, cut off the tails, and then sew on each one, and then we'll move on to the rhinestone part, and then we'll be done. Alright, so our final step is adding embellishments. This is what my top looks like. And so what I think I'm going to use actually is sequins. So just like I have these little gold sequins. If you want to, you could also use rhinestones. You can get these at like your craft store. So beautiful. But I feel like my gold sequins match the vibe a little bit better for like this kind of like sunset-y thing. This bag of sequins, not sure where I got it, but I'm sure that you can get it at the dollar store. That's likely where I got mine. And so with sequins, you can actually sew them on. So I'm going to do that with a needle and thread. But if you prefer to use rhinestones, actually let me put these in the sun so you can see just how beautiful they are. If you want to use rhinestones, then you can hot glue them on or use like any sort of crystal glue that is probably in like the rhinestone section of any store that you can get them at. So beautiful. I'm going to find a use for these though. I will, I promise. Okay, so like we set up the needle and thread for attaching the little flowers, you're going to do the same thing if you're attaching a sequin. And so we're just going to poke our needle through the center. Slide our sequin on. I actually might add a few sequins just to beef it up a little bit. Let me tell you, these things are so hard to pick up with nails. Anyhow, so yep, just pull our thread through and then just attach it by making a couple stitches in and out. You could add more sequins, just kind of facing different directions if you would like. So slide that on and make a stitch. Again through the back. Slide a sequin on. And again to the back, and then once we're back at the back, just going to attach by making a double knot and snip off. And now, look at that, we've got our little sequin center. Yeah, just like a gorgeous little sparkly embellishment. So now I'm going to repeat for each one of these flowers and then repeat for the flowers on the bottoms as well. And then we will be all done. Okay guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. If you want to check me out on Instagram and TikTok, that would be awesome. And if you make this or anything else for my channel, I would love to see it. So make sure to send it over to me on Instagram. That would be awesome. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Alright, thank you so much. Bye!